Hello and welcome back to Statistics with Dr. Platt. And earlier we discussed how to create a frequency distribution, and we got to the point of figuring out the upper and lower limits for our 7 classes based on data that has a minimum value of 3 and a maximum value of 44 with a class width of 6. So we need to expand on this a little bit. Our class midpoint is going to be the sum of the lower class limit and upper class limit divided by 2. So we have 11. 3 plus 8 is 11, divided by 2 is 5.5. 14 plus 9 is 23, divided by 2 is 11.5. And you should notice that these are increasing by 6. So we get 17.5, 23.5, 29.5, 35.5, and 41.5. We're going to be using these midpoints in a number of applications. Then we can find our lower class, we can find the number of elements between 3 and 8 inclusive by looking down our ordered list or looking through our list. And we have 3 numbers that are between 3 and 8. 3 numbers that are between 9 and 14. Then we want to find between 15 and 20, 16, 17, all of our 19s, and all of our 20s, for a total of 10 of them give us our third class. Our fourth class, we're looking between 21 and 26, 21 through all of our 26s for another 10. Then we want to look for 27 through 32. There were 3. 33 through 38. 35 and 38 fit in there. And we have 1 element that is at that value there. So we have our class limits and our frequency. And we can proceed to create a couple different graphs using this. The first of these graphs is going to be a histogram employing our class midpoints and our frequencies. While we can use data directly to make a histogram in Excel, getting it to behave in the way we specify can be a little bit tricky. So we highlight the 2 groups of data that we're interested in and go to this bar chart where notice we have 3s, 10s, 3, 2, 1. Our class midpoints are going to denote our classes. And we want to format our data, which you can do by clicking on our data and then right-clicking. We want to set our gap overlap down to 0 and our series overlap to 0. And we have a frequency distribution. And a histogram. Another graph that we can use with the same set of data is a frequency polygon, where we're going to in order to do a frequency polygon, which will start and end at 0, we need to create a series of points that would mirror where we would have values if they existed. And we can select our class midpoints again, our frequencies, insert, recommended graph. Okay, this one here. And we have a graph that reflects how our values change from one class to the next. Format axis. Okay, negative 0.5. Major units are going to be 6. And we have this reflecting our data, where each point represents the same value as we see in the histogram. And we can see the change from one class to the next as we move from left to right along the graph. So these are our two absolute frequency representations. And I will come back to looking at how to create relative frequency or determine relative frequency and other things in the next video.